When I was younger, I was shy and quiet. I would follow along with what everyone else wanted, putting their happiness over my own. I would always stand to the side and never try to be the center of attention. And as I grew up, I started to step away from the individual competition of dance and more toward team sports where the spotlight wasn't on me, literally. I would never have considered myself a leader, and it wasn't until the summer before my senior year of high school that I really understood that there was not one definition of leadership. I took part in a program where we participated in many different exercises, which taught me the basic principles of leadership, and this is where I first learned about being an introverted leader. And that summer really opened my eyes to the study of leadership.
And interesting research by Adam Grant at the Wharton School has found that introverted leaders often deliver better outcomes than extroverts do because when they are managing proactive employees, they're much more likely to let those employees run with their ideas, whereas an extrovert can quite unwittingly kind of get so excited about things that they're putting their own stamp on things, and other people's ideas might not as easily then bubble up to the surface. Now, in fact, some of our transformative leaders in history have been introverts. I'll give you some examples. Eleanor Roosevelt, Rosa Parks, Gandhi, all these people describe themselves as quiet and soft-spoken and even shy. And they all took the spotlight even though every bone in their bodies was telling them not to.
This idea of introverted leadership opened up new paths of what leadership is and can be to me. For example, is a leader born or made? I would have never considered myself a leader when I was younger, but as I have learned through that summer at camp and the leadership studies classes at the University of Maryland, I now believe that everyone has the potential to be a leader, but it is whether they embrace it when the chance is presented. This is seen in Bruce Avolio and Sean Hanna's research on developmental readiness accelerating leader development. Based on their findings, they concluded that leaders and leadership are largely made through experiences, and how quickly leaders develop the capability to lead effectively is in part linked to the readiness of the individual to engage in those developmental experiences. I believe that without even knowing it, we are ingrained with this idea through movies. We may not have understood the deeper lessons, but children are constantly learning from everything they see in the world around them. The Lion King is a great example of how everyone has the potential to be a leader. The movie shows the story of a cub who discovers the leader within himself and then takes his rightful place as king. Our world is constantly changing, and leadership styles need to reflect that to be successful. From managing to leading, from working hard to working smart, from being individualistic to being team-oriented, from being transaction-driven to being process-driven, from a one-way enforced approach to a participative and collaborative approach. To me, a true leader should be inspiring, mentoring, building a team, supportive, nurturing, and caring. Not only that, but to be a successful leader, you need to be self-aware. Know what values are important to you, as well as surrounding yourself with diversity. Diversity is not just the color of your skin or the religion you practice, but the experiences from your past and different opinions you have that truly make you different. Not one person is the same. Without diversity, the group will not have a unique perspective on the goals and path needed to make a positive change. This change is often beginning with motivation and inspiration, which can be found in charismatic leadership. Despite the popular opinion that an introvert can't be charismatic, with the proper skills and positive self-efficacy, they can inspire others to realize their full potential.
Is that a fact? Sit down, kid. Sit down. Let me tell you something, kid. Everybody gets one chance to do something great. Most people never take the chance, either because they're too scared or they don't recognize it when it spits on their shoes. This is your big chance, and you shouldn't let it go by. I mean, you remember when you busted the guts out of the ball the other day? Someone's telling you something, kid. And if I was you, I'd listen.
According to John Antonakis, inspirational motivation is leadership that inspires and motivates followers to reach ambitious goals that may have previously seemed unreachable. This clip is a great example of that because it shows Babe Ruth motivating Ben to jump over the fence and rescue the ball, a previously inaccessible goal. This would solve the group's problem and Ben would make a personal impact. Babe inspires Ben to make his own choices and shows him that he had the potential to make a difference the entire time. While Ben didn't set out to be a leader, it was his actions that inspired the rest of the Sandlot team, creating a positive cycle of leadership. actions can create change. In his Everyday Leadership TED Talk, Drew Dudley coins the term lollipop moments. This explains how one can motivate, inspire, and lead through everyday actions without realizing the effect you have on people. Being the oldest child is not an easy task. How I acted, performed, and behaved affected not only myself but my entire family. When I succeeded, my parents succeeded, and when I failed, my parents felt as though they failed. But it is not always the people looking down at you, but also the ones looking up. It was my younger brother, campers, and kids I babysat. My behaviors and actions broadcasted to them what they should and shouldn't do. Children are always watching and absorbing information they can later use in their own life with you as their role model. Motivation effectively communicates your expectations, which ultimately inspire. Good communication is essential when it comes to leadership because without clear communication between a leader and the group, their goals cannot be met. Though I did not consider myself a leader when I was younger, the potential was always there. Because of my experiences and the theories I have learned in the Leadership Studies minor, I believe that I can now successfully be the best leader I can be. Through my everyday actions, I hope to develop my own leadership skills, motivate others, and continue to learn and expand my knowledge of leadership. While I've successfully figured out my current leadership philosophy, just like the world, it is constantly changing.